Welcome to this week's episode of People and Earth. My name is Grace Malahleki. Now, as the climate is changing, all things are also evolving, and this change is no exception in the agricultural sector. The sector has been moving towards smart and sustainable agriculture. To give an insight on this issue today, I am joined by Dr. Makomborero Nyoni, who is a biotechnology innovator, research consultant, and product developer. Welcome, sir, to the program.
Thank you.
Welcome to People and Earth. Now straight to it. What's your general view of sustainable and smart agriculture?
Okay, thank you. So sustainable agriculture is, we are saying that we want to farm in a way which is clean to the environment, and also other systems will support it. So what we are saying is we are farming using practices that will remain important, or that other people who can come after us can also benefit from. So we don't want to pollute the environment through some other practices, but what we want to do is to then come up with some sort of practices then will allow those other generations to come to farm sustainably.
All right, perhaps for the benefit of Vanagogo, Kumusha, probably they are farming wrong. Can you just highlight some of the negative processes that people have been carrying out throughout the years that are not smart?
Okay, so when it comes to sustainable farming, I think we, as the country, we are doing it. Let's just think of people who are growing mangoes. Have you ever had people spraying something on mangoes or putting in fertilizers? So that's the kind of sustainable agriculture. They're not putting anything, but at the same time, we're not having chemicals that we are applying. So that's sustainable farming. So I can say we are not doing something which is wrong, or the people who are in the rural communities. So what they are doing because of the resources, already they are attaining sustainable farming because sometimes they lack the resources.
Mm-hmm. So in what ways can smart farming improve sustainability?
We are talking of incorporating technology, so that becomes smart. So we are saying some of the work that in terms of monitoring, fertilizer applications, if just surveillance of diseases, already we are saying incorporating technology. So already smart farming then and sustainable farming. So that means they go hand in hand, in that if you are monitoring something, we know that we're not going to apply more, because already smart farming is telling us, the devices that are telling us, no, you're putting much, you're putting less. So through research, we're just putting the optimum, we are putting the exact amounts, because smart farming then is helping us then to calculate and to tell us what we are applying.
All right, most people cringe when they hear the word technology. Yeah. So are these technologies user-friendly? Can they be used by anyone from the grassroots level up to industrial level?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and that's very broad. So I think I'll answer this coming from the innovator's mind. So every time we can go back to the rural areas, already they are kind of doing some smart agriculture, because they have got indigenous knowledge systems that they use to measure. So that's at a local level. But then when we upscale it, there are other innovators who are coming up with a different kind of technology to apply within the farming systems. So these people now, they sell it to the people maybe who are into estate farming, the people who are running big projects. Then those people, it's sustainable for them to buy that kind of technology. But then there are also individuals who are so enthusiasts in technology. They just want to apply that kind of technology or for example, you want to monitor some diseases, you want to also monitor some market fluctuations, some prices, because it's still agriculture, or you just want to monitor your schedule or your spraying regime, or even in livestock, you just want to monitor the cattle vaccinated using the right quantities of the vaccine, or if they dipped, or all those things also they can apply.
What are some of the benefits that a smallholder farmer can accrue from using these smart agriculture technologies?
Smallholder farmers, you know, already I think at some point they want to grow, right? But at the moment they are still where they are because they are accumulating the resources so that they can grow. So smart agriculture can then benefit them by start also at a small scale, trying to understand how this technology work, just validating, and also they can incorporate some sort of systems that they are already using, or even the indigenous knowledge systems that they are already using, so that even the developers of these kinds of technologies also they can incorporate so that it works. Remember, these kind of technologies, they can only work if the environment is suitable. That means if these people, they tell them their day-to-day problems, the solutions that they want, or it also depends on these farmers as well, on what they are planning in future, because they want to grow. And for example, they are small, and at some point they want to grow to an estate, or sometimes these smallholder farmers, for example, you know of this contract farming, whereby now we are aggregating the produce so that the off-taker will have more of the produce coming from these smallholder farmers.
All right.
So already at some point, then because there are efforts, it's more of like a cooperative, but there are efforts also, that kind of technology also is very useful to them. Or maybe the company is saying, we are giving you this kind of technology, and with this kind of technology, this will meet our good agricultural practices.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Nyoni. We'll have to take it up after the break. Viewers, we are talking about smart and sustainable agriculture. Don't go away. Join us after this short break. Welcome back, viewers, and we are continuing our discussion on sustainable and smart agriculture. Now, Dr. Nyoni, you have formulated and developed, registered and commercialized 2 biofertilizers. Can you kindly unpack what a biofertilizer is?
Okay, thank you. Since we are talking of sustainable agriculture, the word biofertilizer, let's underline bio. It's a living organism. Fertilizer, it's a compound that you can add that can increase plant growth. So the biofertilizer here, we are incorporating microorganisms, for example, bacteria, yeast, and some fungi, or their compounds, so that it can increase plant growth. And remember, these are biological organisms, living organisms, which are also related to plants. So they've got some compounds that they produce, and they impart, for example, we are talking of phosphate solubilization, you know, of a fertilizer which is an equivalent, which is phosphate. Also, there is kind of growth improvement, because these compounds coming from the biofertilizer itself. There are also compounds that can fix nitrogen.
Okay.
So these already, I think you know rhizobia. It's a biofert whereby if we are planting soybeans, we have then to put rhizobia, so that the plant itself, together with the rhizobia, there is a good relationship. The rhizobia is doing its work and is also giving nitrogen to the plant.
All right, so what are some of the benefits that a farmer can accrue if they if they adopt the use of biofertilizers?
There are so many of them. So if you're doing sustainable agriculture, because you're not you are not incorporating chemicals at some point, or you're just using few chemicals. So for example, I can give an example of if you are applying fertilizer itself for plant growth, and then you introduce biofertilizer together. All those, for example, all that kind of pollution that you're getting, all that efficiency of the fertilizer can be increased. Because remember, these biofertilizers, these are living organisms. They're helping the plant to do phosphate solubilization, nitrogen fixation. So already the biofert, or even in the absence of another fertilizer, we are saying that you can use a biofert. So a biofert itself, we are saying within the soil, it's there. And for example, if you are destroying some sort of organic matter, you just put your organic matter, and then the biofertilizer will help for the biodegradation of that stock. It might be maize, stover, or maybe it's a green material, and then already you are supporting it. So it's there in the soil. So even some other diseases, for example, you know that these are biological diseases, and then there is also good fungi which can defend or which can compete with that kind of a pathogen which is in the soil. So already if you're introducing these biofertilizers, then already you are doing a good sustainable agriculture.
So in a nutshell, what are the overall benefits to the climate? Here we have talked benefits for the farmer. Now on climate, how can a farmer contribute to climate, to good climate, and when they start using these biofertilizers?
Yeah, well, that's a very good topic. It requires a good research paper and some other components. But what I can say is, remember our climate, these are biofertilizers. So we compare, what we do is the disadvantages of the synthetics, whereby we are saying within our climate we cause some destabilization because we are spraying some aerosols, or maybe we're just affecting the ecosystem. So this ecosystem then will then cause some effects then on the climate. Yeah.
And to what extent do you think sustainable farming will contribute to economic growth?
Yes, that's another good question. So economic growth, remember, there's sort of microeconomic growth. We are saying within a community, and that microeconomic growth, then if it's additive to 3 communities doing the same macroeconomic growth, then it becomes a good economic growth. So we are saying that this sustainable farming, then it increases the people's incomes. So we are saying that the people themselves, they are selling the food which has been organically farmed. So remember, sustainable agriculture and organic farming are related. So we are saying that there is a good premium for organic produce. So even 3, 4, 5 times than the crops that are farmed conventionally. So that means it increases the incomes and the livelihoods of the people, the livelihoods of the people in the community or in a country. Then it can change because already they are doing things that the world can accept. Yeah.
And finally, is there a link between sustainable and smart farming and sustainable development goals, the SDGs?
Yes, there is a link. I think SDG 2. I don't know what it says, but there is. But it's all about the food security, nutrition. So that means if there is sustainable agriculture, already the people, the food that they are going to obtain from sustainable agriculture, it's safe from synthetic chemicals. So that means already we are eating good food, and also we are addressing the issue of nutrition using our resources. So there is a very good link there.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. That was Dr. Makomborero Nyoni, who is a biotechnology innovator and research consultant and product developer, who has also come up with a biofertilizer. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the third segment. Welcome back, and we are still talking about sustainable and smart agriculture. In this segment, I am joined by Mr. Nkosikhona Dube, the co-founder and managing director at Crop Doctor Solutions. Welcome to People and Earth.
Thank you so much.
Now, to start off with, in what ways can smart farming improve sustainability?
Okay, so first of all, a little background on smart farming. Smart farming, it's either called agriculture 4.0 or resource intensive smart farming. If you see all the research, it's pointing to an expanding population, global population, which means there is now more competition for the land resource, because we want to habitat the land resource, and we also want to use that land resource for our own agricultural sustenance. But the equation is not yet balancing out, because we're facing an ever expanding population, and whilst also agricultural land is now being converted to your residential houses. So now smart farming is using the little land which we have intensively, so that we produce more with the little which we have. So if you can see, we're trying to make sure that our agricultural practices become more efficient, thus producing more for the little land we had. Therefore, that on its own is pointing towards a sustainable agriculture industry and sustainable livelihoods as a people, as the human race.
All right. So, in what ways can smart agriculture enhance food security in Zimbabwe?
By smart agriculture, we're now producing more whilst also conserving the land which we have. Therefore, we have improved our sustainability, because now we're saving the land which we have for future generations to also make use of that land which we are having, whilst producing enough for the present generation to feed upon.
In what ways can smart agriculture enhance food security in Zimbabwe?
Okay, that's an interesting one. So when we say food security, we mean everyone has enough to eat. And as we have already seen, smart agriculture, we're producing more with the little land which we have. So we have intensified our agricultural practices so that we are now producing even more. Therefore, whilst also conserving the soil and the resources which we have for future generations. So smart agriculture, what it is enabling us to do is produce more for the present generation, preserve the land for the future generation. So we are tackling two problems, futuristic problem and the present problem, all at once by adopting smart agriculture.
All right. In that vein, you have come up with the Crop Doctor Solutions. Can you tell us more about it?
Okay. So the Crop Doctor Solution as a company, it's a research and development company. We're focusing mostly on the research of smart agriculture technologies, but affordable smart agriculture technologies for the small scale farmers. And amongst our most special one is the Crop Doctor mobile application. So the mobile application is it's available on both platforms, your iOS and your Android, and it's a crop diagnostics platform. So what it enables the farmer to do is to go and inspect your farm. Say you have your maize field, and you notice that the leaves are turning a little bit yellow and you do not really understand what is going on. So what you do is you go on the mobile application, you take a pic of that plant, and it will run a diagnostics for you through our AI modules which you have embedded in the system. So what you get as a result is the diagnostics, what is going on with your plant, what disease has affected your plant, how to rectify it, what measures you should take to address that particular damage or that particular disease, and also where you can best get the medicine. So it will map the nearest shop to you or the cheapest shop which is closer to you, where you can get the rectification medication for that particular plant. But also what we have enabled the farmers to do is we're offering translation, because the English version, the English agronomist words, they're quite big and you might not really understand it. So we're offering two translations, that's Shona and Devele for the Zimbabwean market, but we're looking to branch into Zambian market early next year. So we'll be offering them translations also there. And also what we do is via the mobile application, we are offering agronomist services, extension services. So at any given time, you can browse through online agronomists, and just by the click of the button, you are put in touch with an agronomist, and they'll be able to help you further with the problem that you're facing at your farm.
All right, quite an interesting innovation there.
Thank you.
Well, I'm a bit concerned about the digital divide. So is this app accessible to everyone, everywhere?
Yeah, digital divide. That's one of the problems where if you are into technology and that word hits you, you will be disrupted. Okay, so yeah, digital divide is a thing. And it's really a challenge which we're trying to address, because you see that most of the small-scale farmers who are trying to help intensify their farming productivity are located in remote areas where there is no internet and stuff. And so what we have done in order to try and help them for the meantime is we have two variations of the Crop Doctor mobile application: an online version which requires internet, which is more efficient, and another one, the offline version. But the offline version has its limitations, such as mapping to the nearest shop and stuff. You cannot get those services via the offline. But what you can do is you are still getting your diagnosis, but you have to search through an offline library, sort of. So you scan, you get the diagnosis of the disease that's affecting your plant. Then you have to go and search through our library to see how you rectify it. And you can also contact the farmers, the agronomists, because their details are listed, so you'd have to call them physically. But also we're working on a USSD platform, which is going to be used by the farmers in remote areas. That will be a more efficient way of dealing with the digital divide, but it's something that is coming in the future.
All right, so what have you done to accelerate smart agriculture in the country?
To accelerate smart agriculture, because we came to a realization that the client which we're building this technology for, which is the farmer, did not really understand what smart agriculture is and what it entails. So we had to restart our strategy and started by spreading the knowledge, because one cannot adopt something which they do not understand. Because you see a farmer, he has been growing potatoes for the past 10, 20 years, and they've been averaging at 60 tons per hectare. They are okay with it because they're making profits, but they do not understand that by adopting smart agriculture, you can now intensify and produce 90 tons per that same hectare which you're using. But now what we have done is we have started a Crop Doctor magazine, a monthly magazine, which entails which is a publication of farmers who are using smart agriculture and their testimonies. So if farmers can communicate with other farmers who have already adopted smart agriculture, that way it becomes easier for them to be more accepting of the new technology which we're bringing. So we have also roped in porters to help and distribute our magazine through their post offices. So in remote areas, you can see the Crop Doctor magazine's monthly publications which are being distributed by porters, so that farmers can know what smart agriculture is and how best it can help them, so that they adopt it more clearly. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Nkosi, for having joined us.
Thank you so much.
All right, viewers, I have been talking to Dr. Makomborero Nyoni, a biotechnology innovator, as well as Nkosikhona Dube, the co-founder and managing director at Crop Doctor Solutions, where they were both talking about sustainable and smart agriculture. Thank you so much for having joined us in this week's episode of People and Earth. My name is Grace Malahleki.